This is the new Druid, a build that will make everything in Sanctuary explode in a single hit. Clearing orcs and pushing with this build is incredibly satisfying. With Basilisk Prayer and our Grizzly Rage ultimate, Stoneboots truly comes to life this season. In this video you will see how it works, gear, skill tree, Paragon, Boons, HORADRIC powers, gems and rogues. Are you ready to take your builds to the next level? Let's get into the video. Hey my fellow druids! Today I bring in you a build based on Stormburst. We will take advantage of Basilisk Prayer, Grizzly Rage and the anti-climb aspect to create a build that can clear all content in the game with ease. Before jumping into the build, I want to explain something about those orange numbers you see on screen. So it's clear from now and you don't get confused about the different types of damage. First, we got the yellow numbers. Those are critical strikes, and they scale with critical strike damage. Pretty easy to understand. Second, we got the blue or teal numbers. Those represent overpowered damage. So when any aspect, skill, passive or glyph says that increases or guarantees overpowered damage, it's referring to those blue numbers, not the orange ones. So then, what are the orange numbers we see on screen? They are the combo of a critical strike and overpowered hit. That's why they are so high. These hits are called overpowered crit hits. That's why builds like Pulverize or the one I'm about to show you don't just need overpower. They also need a high crit chance to see those orange numbers consistently. With that in mind, let's move on with the build. And you will understand why I use runes like Gar and Earth Critical Strike Chance Tempering, for example. With all this in mind, let me show you the game loop. The game loop is pretty simple. First, we alternate between Town Portal and Stoneburst to stack the Quick Shift passive. Then we cast Grizzly Rage and start channeling Stoneburst until it reaches max size, to deal as much damage as possible. Keep your companion's skill active to make the most of the Nagu runes. Here I will show you how those blue numbers show up when our crit is still low. When the Guard rune is active, it gives us 80% more crit, plus the air critical strike chance for tempering, which doesn't show up on the stat sheet but is like a hidden bonus. This is how we guarantee those orange numbers. See how with this much crit the blue numbers pop up. But once we activate Guard, we get way more orange than blue on the screen. That means our overpower and crit are working in perfect balance. So, anti-climb gives us the overpower, and we start crit to land those OP crit hits as often as possible. We start with Basilisk Prayer, plus the willpower affix. It will help increase your damage. We will use Shroud of False Dead, max out the all stat affix. If you don't have it, go with Insatiable Fury. For the globes, willpower, attack speed and ranks to Stonebirds. For the tempering, Earth Critical Strike Chance, very important and lucky hit. We use Retaliation here to boost our core skill damage. For the pants, Devil's Will, boost damage by 20% and raise the all stat affix. For boots, willpower, movement speed and max life. Tempering here is movement speed and lucky hit. Aspect Ballistic, which give us +2 ranks to Stonebirds. For the main weapon, go with a dagger, for higher casting speed, very important for Stonebirds. Affixes here is willpower, max life and overpower damage. Double cast chance is very important in this build. Mine is a bit low, and sometimes it's only cast once, which is a big DPS loss. Try to get this as high as possible. Same goes for the totem. We will also use anti-climb Stonebirds here. For the totem, no other choice, stack ranks to Stonebirds, and if you can get GA on the double cast chance, even better. For the amulet, willpower, Envenom and Quick Shift. Envenom is the priority. For the tempering, air critical strike chance and Grizzly Rage cooldown reduction. Aspect here, Rabbit Bear. Starless Sky is the best possible ring for this build, gives everything we need, resource cost reduction and 50% more damage. The second ring, willpower, attack speed and chance to make enemies vulnerable. The tempering here is air critical strike chance and grizzly cooldown reduction. Aspect here is rampaging Werbeast. 5 points into Stonebirds, with the raging Stonebirds upgrade. Gives 50% more damage when Stonebirds explodes. Costs 60% more, but don't worry. With Boons and Starless Sky, we will always have tons of resources. 3 points into Wild Impulse to keep boosting our core skill damage, and 1 point into Cyclone Armor for its passive damage reduction. Debilitating Roar gives 40% less damage taken, fortifies us, and increases our damage by 25%. We will use Wolves to benefit from the Nagu rune and tank enemies while we canal safely. Ravens help boost our crit, so they are very important for DPS. The usual high damage passives, Envenom, Toxic Claws because of Rabbit Bear, Crushing Air, Provocation, etc. We will put 5 points into Grizzly Rage to get 30% bonus armor while it's active, and the key passive here is Ursine Strange. Boost our max life, overpower, and the total damage. Paragon will be the same as our other Earth Werber builds. Start with Headhunter to boost willpower and increase damage versus elites by 10%. Next board is Earthen Devastation, which gives 60% more crit damage to Earth skills. Glyph here is Earth and Sky, increases damage versus vulnerable enemies. We are not using Fang and Claw since we are trying to stay away from enemies. Then Survival Instinct with the Keeper Glyph. 50% more non-physical damage, since Rabbit Beard turns all our damage into poison. Fourth board, Hainted Malice, for bonus damage versus poison enemies. And the glyph here is Spirit, helps with crit strike damage. The last board is Ancestral Guidance. We will be spending Spirit constantly, so the 40% bonus damage will be active most of the time. Glyph here is Dominate, increases overpower damage. Start with Gift of the Stack to keep resources high and make the most of the Anti-Climb Burst passive. Then Side Talons for more crit chance, Avian Growth for more crit damage, Energize again to keep resources staying up, and finally Calm Before the Storm to help reset Grizzly Rage. We will use Cosmic Anomaly, which with the Arcana Bloody Charm helps boost our attack speed. When Cosmic Anomaly executes an enemy, we get 20% more attack speed. Infusion here is Nebulous Extract to reduce incoming damage by 10%. Bloody Charm to execute enemies, Shifting Powder to increase movement speed and make the build feels less sluggish, and Fracture Core to remove enemies' auras. We will use Idol from Below for 6% max life and willpower. Scornful Light gives 20% more damage, but we take 10 more. And HORADRIC Crest to reduce damage taken. The runes are easy to use. Just play normally and they will activate by themselves. First pair, Back Guard. Guard boosts crit chance, letting us land more OP crit hits. The second pair is Nagu Om. Om gives us 50% more damage just for having active companions, in this case wolves and ravens. Alright my fellow druids, here is a P95 run. I got the Mother Judgment, the thoughtless bosses in the game, but hey, we managed to take her down. My thoughts on this build, it's fun to play, has a pretty unique gameplay loop, and it's super satisfying to blow enemies up with this skill. Maybe adding an aspect that detonates a Stormbolt instantly at max size could help boost DPS even more. If you get any questions, leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in Sanctuary.